Hi, Aquarius. Welcome. So, Aquarius, this is going to be your spiritual tarot reading, and we're going to go ahead and get straight into it. So, Aquarius, when I was meditating on the Aquarian energy, I was getting a song by Sasha Sloan. I believe it's called Version of Me, but I'm not entirely sure that that is the name of the song. But the lyrics that were coming through were, do you know this version of me? And I honestly don't know any of the rest of the lyrics. But what I was gathering from that, Aquarius, is that there seems to be a few different versions of you showing up, okay, for this reading. And it's interesting, right? Because perspective is tricky, and there are lots of different versions out there of you, Aquarius, living in other people's minds, right? That's why perception can be a tricky thing, right? Now, which one of those versions of you is who you actually are? None of them. None of them. People's perception of you can only be as clear as their perception of self, of their knowing of self. And so everybody kind of gets a taste of you, Aquarius, but no one really knows the true essence of you except for you and your higher self and your source, right? And that's true for everyone walking the planet. And that's why they say that if you're out here trying to make everyone in the world understand you, good luck with that, right? It's going to be a hard road for you because nobody's ever going to completely understand you, Aquarius, especially as an Aquarius, because Aquarians are kind of the oddballs of the zodiac, right? We tend to be outside of the box thinkers. We tend to go outside of the norms. And a lot of people have trouble making sense of Aquarian energy, but being as I'm an Aquarian myself, I completely understand Aquarian energy. You just go by the own beat of your drum, Aquarius. And it's not like you're intentionally, going out there trying to be different. I don't feel like that's what's going on here, or that's what goes on in general for Aquariuses. It's just that you are different. The way that you think is different. The way that you move is different. And that's just part of having Aquarius in your chart, right? So I feel like don't get bogged down in the details or in other people's perceptions or opinions of what you got going on, Aquarius. As long as you're in alignment with it, as long as you're feeling it, then that's what matters the most, right? So that's kind of the messages that I had, coming through. Now let's see what the cards have to say. So I have the card of opposition and balance, and then the Knight of Cups, which is the card of spirituality. Libra energy here for some of you. That could be in your chart or in the chart of someone you're connecting with. But there is some sort of spiritual purpose showing up here as it relates to relationships in specific, but also how you interact within relationships, how we tend to mirror each other's securities, but also insecurities within relationships. There's something here that's becoming evident to you during this time frame, Aquarius, that you're becoming aware of in regards to a specific relationship or more than one relationship for some of you, because I got different versions of you, right? The song was different versions of me. So I actually feel like this is pertaining to just more than one connection, right? There could also be conflicts or like this testy energy during this time frame. So be careful of that. This encourages you to stay in tune, to stay in balance, to, I heard, not go off your rocker. So go off your rocker, Aquarius. There's some sort of spiritual growth coming in here as well on an emotional level. So let's get into it. We're going to look at the headspace, what you need to know currently in the current energy, the heart space, what's going on with the emotions and relationships, and then future energy. So headspace for my Aquarius is what do they need to know? There's some other parts of that song that are coming through now. Oh my gosh, if somebody knows the lyrics to that song, please put it in the comment section below. I feel like you can relate to it. If nobody knows it, then Google it. Anyways, okay, so Headspace here is the 10 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, the Wheel in reverse. Yes. The Queen of Pentacles. So this all looks really good here, Aquarius. This is all about clearing out karmic cycles, right? Closure, putting an end to something that maybe has been a long journey for you. And I was saying this on my Facebook, which if you don't follow me on Facebook, the link is below. But I was talking about in one of my lives that I feel like January of 2023 is going to be like a genuine, fresh, clean slate for a lot of people in the collective. I don't usually feel that way about New Year's Eve. I feel like, you know, for the most part, you're no different on December 31st than you are on January 1st. But for some reason this year, I feel like there's some sort of pivotal movements happening in January for a lot of the collective that is actually giving like a fresh start energy. And I feel that coming in for you as well, Aquarius. And it may feel like, ooh, as soon as you clear a hurdle, right, and you're feeling like things are going your way, there seems to be some backstepping here. Okay, so the wheel in the reverse is like a repeated cycle or something coming back around, right, that you thought maybe you had, you know, closure around, or that you had, there's something showing up that you thought ended that didn't end, okay? It's like you thought you had cleared things up and then more comes in, Aquarius, and they keep giving me words like backlash. There's some sort of backlash here, whether that's happening to you or someone you're connected with. And it has to deal with relationships in your social circle. So I feel like, and then I'm also getting coming around. So whatever this is, Aquarius, that you have going on, I feel like you're going to come around, right? Or like whoever you're connecting with, they're going to come around to some sort of conclusion, okay? And I feel this is, the time frame is spanning between now and January, your birthday season. But it definitely has to deal with relationships. And it's also about knowing your worth, kind of standing your ground as well. Especially when it comes to connections, especially when it comes to fairness, right? Because this card also talks about fairness and wanting to feel like things are fair, but also that you're being fair, right? So, I don't mean to keep pausing, but there's like several different messages coming through. There's also like this blip on the radar, see, because there's all this beautiful energy here about you overcoming some things that you've needed to overcome, literally clearing out some sort of karmic lesson. And then this, like, it could just be a bad day, Aquarius, where you just feel like, okay, I was on top of it and now I don't feel on top of it, like unlucky, you know, like feeling like things are working against you, and then you bounce right out of that energy. So I don't feel like this is a lingering long-term energy. And then all of this emotional support showing up for you, Aquarius, which is kind of solidifying your stance, which is helping you to stand your ground. Okay, so I feel like there's like either some back and forth, or like something that kind of makes you go backwards a little bit or makes you question things, and then only for you to kind of come to the conclusion of, no, you know what, I think I'm going to stand my ground on this. I think I'm going to I'm hearing things like stake your claim, or stand your boundaries, or draw boundaries, or whatever this is, right? Like, I actually feel this very fixed, like stubborn energy coming through, which Aquarius is a fixed sign. So you do tend to be a little bit stubborn, especially when it's something really important to you. So I get like a sense of like, too, that once you had your mind made up, Aquarius, you're not likely to sway away from that, right? And that may be frustrating to other people. It may even seem like, you know, that you're trying to be difficult, but honestly, I feel like it's not that you're attempting to be difficult. It's that you are dedicated to whatever this is that you have on your heart, whatever you have on your mind. You're dedicated to it, and because you're a fixed sign, it's easy for you to take a stance and then hold that stance. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on here in the head space. And now let me go into the heart space and see. Does she say, will you love the version of me? Okay, now some of that song is coming through. So basically, to give you a gist of what that song is about Aquarius, is like she's asking, would you love all of the versions of me? Not just the versions of me that are appeasing to you, but all of me. Could you love that version of me? And so this is in part coming through because there's a part of that song, Aquarius, that equates to you and how you feel about yourself. Because it's not really about whether someone else can love all of you. It's about, do you love all of you? Do you love all of the versions of you? Can you stand firm in the fact that you are, you know, worthy as you are? Even the things that you consider defects are a part of your being and therefore perfection, right? Especially in the eyes of Source and your higher self. It's not so much about like, can other people accept that, or trying to mold yourself so that it changes the version of you in other people's minds, but instead just genuinely being you. And by you authentically accepting yourself, others will come around. That's what the message is, right? It's not about changing yourself, Aquarius, or molding yourself to appease whatever version of you that other people are wanting out of you. It's about you genuinely loving and accepting all of the versions of you and not being afraid of what other people think or how you may be perceived, which I actually feel like this is Aquarius's strong suit. Is we typically don't mind being out of the box. We don't mind being misunderstood. We're rarely understood to begin with, you know what I mean? But I feel like the message is coming through, right? So then that means it's important for you to hear at this moment. So it's not about others accepting you, Aquarius, or understanding you. It's about you accepting you. That's what this next time frame is about. That's whatever karmic completion is coming through, right? It has everything to do with standing firm in your own choices and yeah, allowing yourself to be whatever others people want to paint you as in their story. I saw this meme the other day on Facebook, and it said, you know, you're the bad guy in someone's story. We're all the bad guy in at least one person's story. None of us come out of this life unscathed by other people's opinions, because you cannot please everyone. You cannot. And if you attempt to please everyone, you will destroy yourself, right? So you'll definitely lose yourself. And so it's like you got to be okay with the fact that there's a lot of different versions of you out there, Aquarius, okay? So anyways, the Tower, the King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Wands. Give me one more. So like the very first thing I heard when I looked down at these cards was that a conflict to brewing. So be careful with conflicts. That message has come through twice, right? If you get tested or you feel like you want to confront something or call something out, maybe take a step back, Aquarius, find your balance, find your peace, and then, right? I was just talking to someone else about this today. Like, if you're irritated and you're frustrated, that is not the time to try and be heard. Because no matter how well-intending you are, if you're in that vibration of irritation, it's going to come out as irritating. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to send that energy with whatever you have to say or whatever you have going on. And so always wait until the energy dissipates, until you're in a calm state of mind, until you've thought it through, and then make your point, right? And I feel like, again, Aquarians, you're pretty solid at this, right? Because we have the ability to detach the way that only an Aquarian can detach and kind of remove our emotion from a situation. But I feel like that is one strong suit that you really need to pull on, especially when you're feeling, you know, in like a confrontational type of energy, okay? Or if you find yourself in some sort of confrontational type of energy. There seems to be some big changes coming through on an emotional level, right? That is bringing out this kind of defensive, guarded, fixed nature about you, okay? And sorry, hold on. And your response is everything. Your response is everything. All right, so you seem to be getting some new perspective here, or the encouragement is to back away from a situation before you take action and gain a higher perspective from a clear state of mind. Not when you're irritated, not when you're mad, not when you're feeling rushed either, because sometimes it isn't even about like feeling angry. It's about, you know, just not taking the time to really think through a situation, right? So, yeah. It could feel to you, Aquarius, too, that there's a lot of different things pulling at your heartstrings, which kind of puts you in this defensive mode. And if you feel like, you know, other people are being defensive towards you, I feel like that's amplifying this, okay? It's almost coming from a space of ego, right? As opposed to your higher self, which is fine, right? Like we all dip into our ego. We all have egos. But there's some sort of change around that. Like there's some sort of change that's coming through that stokes the ego, or like stokes some sort of fire here, and maybe even lights a fire under your ass, Aquarius. But I feel like this is ultimately for your benefit, right? Because let's go back to the headspace. There's karmic completion here. There is success coming through. And it's after this blip on the radar that has to deal with emotions, spirituality, and relationships that I feel like is throwing you off a little bit kilter. Okay, but they're asking you to see it from a higher perspective, to see it from a broader perspective, to utilize that open-mindedness that you can bring to the table, Aquarius, and your ability to see what other people can't see. You know what I mean? Like, that is your strong suit. So let's go deeper and see what else. The High Priestess, that card went flying. The World, the Lovers, the Knight of Wands. Now that song is coming through a little bit easier. She's saying, because I have problems, can you love this version of me? So, wow, what a huge turnaround. Let me clarify this Knight of Swords. You have the High Priestess here, the Knight of Wands, the Lovers, the Two of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So you have two soulmate cards here. So definitely highlighting relationships again. And again, more than one relationship, I feel. I feel like this involves just relationships in general in your life. This could be hitting different relationships, and I keep getting the word significant, so significant relationships. Okay. But there is like, your intuition is speaking to you, Aquarius, about whatever the right next action is. And the right next action is solely going to be based on how you feel, which is not usually your comfort zone, because you typically prefer to come through with logic, right? Aquarians, you live in your head, right? So you tend to prefer to make decisions. And again, I'm an Aquarius, so I understand, from a more logical, like, headspace than a heart space. Not that you don't have deep feelings, but usually you would not let your feelings override your common sense, right? So this is kind of an unusual energy, but it's a positive energy, because this is calling on you to listen to your emotions, to follow your heart, especially if you feel a really strong connection or a really strong bond. Okay, I just feel like you're completely being led in the direction of what serves you. Okay, even if on the outset, it doesn't seem that way. Like you're on your path, whatever you have going on, Aquarius, it is serving you. Like there is serving you a purpose. There is a purpose around it. And again, it has to, the underlying spiritual purpose has to deal with different versions of you, you accepting all of you, but also I want to get this right. Knowing that at the end of the day, all the versions of you that are living in other people's minds are not your responsibility, Aquarius. It's not your responsibility. And you couldn't change it anyways, because you can't change what other people think and feel. But you can change how you think and feel. And that's where your power is. And that actually, you loving yourself in such a way where you leave the opinion of others out is such a good thing for you, because what it actually draws into you is people who genuinely love you, who understand you, who are soulmates to you. There's this emotional support coming in, so I don't feel like you're in this alone. It may feel that way sometimes, Aquarius, but you're not. And then there's all this movement forward here. So there seems to be some communication coming through about your future, Aquarius, future planning, where you want to go, what's happening next. It's almost like this full speed ahead. It's like there's some sort of karmic completion, then a change coming through on an emotional level that I feel like you're kind of resistant of. So I also feel like whatever change is coming through, you seem to be a little bit hesitant or resistant about it at first, right? Maybe because there is some clash or some conflict around it. But then it's like as soon as you dawn this new perspective, right? Your intuition is just fully loaded. No, I don't know why I got that. Fully connected, right? And then there's no questioning. There's no doubt. There's no uncertainty here. So Aquarius, it's like there's something here occurring, right? That throws you out of balance for a moment, that has you taking like kind of this, I heard pissed off stance, but it's this very fixed part of you, Aquarius. And then it's almost like somehow this makes you clearer about what you want. Like there's some sort of opposition here that is actually making it clearer to you what you want. Aquarians stay thriving off of opposition because we are the rebels of the zodiac. And again, I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning. It's not so much that you look to be, you know, in a position of being different or being in opposition of others. It's just that is your natural path. As an Aquarian myself, sometimes I don't even like it. I mean, I don't seek to be like a black sheep, right? But the situation always tends to find me. And sometimes I feel like it is a blessing, and sometimes I feel like it's a curse. But I will say, anytime opposition is entered into my life, it pushes me to rise above it. It actually pushes me to be better, to be clearer, to be firmer. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening. So it's like out of that, it's like, you know what? I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what I want. I'm going towards it. Some of you, this is a very significant relationship. It could be more than one relationship, but take it as it resonates. That there's some sort of action around, communication around, and then future planning. So let's see what the guidance is for you, Aquarius. Let's see what the guidance is. Whatever I give attention to, wanted or unwanted, I am creating. You were born with a magnificent emotional guidance system that lets you know in every moment exactly what your vibrational content is, which is being matched by the law of attraction. As it is your desire to feel good and your practice to choose good feeling thoughts, only good things will come to you. So Aquarius, this is reminding you that you get what you think about whether you want it or not. So say you're giving a lot of attention to things that make you feel guarded, that make you feel like arguing. This is a reminder to you that you have the power to change first of all, your mindset. But when you change your mindset by focusing on things that do feel good to you, you will also change the situation, right? When you pull away your energy, Aquarius, and you're not, railing against something in your mind, and you allow yourself to let it rest and then focus on your happiness, that's how things get resolved. That's how solutions come in. And that's how you move past this little blip on the radar here. You get what you focus on, whether you want it or not. So focus on good things, and good things are to come, Aquarius. Wow, very interesting reading. I'm going to leave it there for now. Zodiac signs that you could be dealing with or have in your own birth chart. I have Libra here. Leo, Gemini, Scorpio energy. Those are the predominant signs I'm seeing, but keep in mind it's a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff, as I do have videos and content over there. All of it linked in the description box below, as well as in the About section of my YouTube, where you can find the donation link. If you'd like to donate, you can do so there. And stick around, guys, because the next round of readings will be you versus them, so more to come. Otherwise, I'm wishing you the very, very best, Aquarius, and until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.